What's up, everybody? This is another episode of Karen's Kids Podcast. This is episode number 38.
What's up, y'all?
Always with my boy Jose. It's been a little bit. We took a couple weeks off, a little small hiatus.
That's right.
Your boys were on vacation, 2 separate vacations, right? You took a little vacation last week.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, if you're going to be gone, I'm getting the fuck out of here, too.
Oh, man. My little 8-day getaway was amazing. Amazing as a whole, but there was chunks of not so amazing.
Okay, well, what does that
mean? So let's go through the whole recap. So your boy, meaning me, went to Ultra Music Festival in Miami.
Okay.
That was March 24th. I think 25th and 26th was the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got there a day early, and we checked into... It's a small chain. You ever hear of the Kimpton hotel?
That's like the bootleg Hilton?
No, it seemed probably more upper class, if anything.
Okay.
It wasn't definitely not bootleg. I'm sure as a company, Hilton has billions more money, but I think it's a smaller, like maybe more boutique kind of
nice.
deep. Yeah, a little bit more. It didn't seem cheap. Right. I don't know. Actually, Mauricio bought it.
Like family owned, but high end.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Okay, cool.
So, it was what was really nice about it. Had a pretty badass like rooftop pool. Ooh. That you had fucking great view. You had the fucking whatever that little river was or part of the ocean, whatever that was. It like you could see all the mansions. It's at the port of Miami, but there's like ports like those. You've seen it in iconic. It's been in all the movies, like the iconic bridges that open up and they're going down with boats and shit. So you had sick ass boats.
So what neighborhood was that in?
That was in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, yeah, my good that you brought that in there because it wasn't like downtown Miami or anything. Yeah, we got into Fort Lauderdale, and then we had our experience there. It was cool. Then that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we stayed at an Airbnb that was like in North Miami. Okay, so it was like a little neighborhood.
Brickell, Hollywood.
No, I forgot what the neighborhood was. It was just called North Miami. I'm sure there was a actual name for it, but I'm not exactly sure. It wasn't a great neighborhood, but it wasn't like shitty. But you could see the houses, and you could be like I think the houses were in like the $300,000 like range.
Really?
Yeah. So it was kind of like a little bit lower end, but whatever. It fit the bill. You know, I'm in a house full of artists, right? Yeah, Mauricio being an artist. There's other artists doing different. They're all. Some of them are artists, like paint, like doing what he's doing, murals. Okay. And there was other, like producer kind of like people that were helping with the stage stuff.
Gotcha. Yep.
So,
so you were the only.
Yeah, I was just like the fly on the wall. You know, we had a little like driver. Her name is Jory. Super cool chick. She's like, this is what she does. Like she goes tour to tour with like whatever company she works for like this dude named Joe Risotto. I think I forgot his actual name, but he was basically the curator of Ultra, and he's the one who was a contact with like Mauricio and stuff. And so he has like his assistants, and one of his assistants is this chick. She stayed in the house with us. She was taking us back and forth, making sure that like, because Mauricio had stopped at a paint store, and she handled all the like the little stuff like that.
Just like a direct
assistant. So the first night was great. Fucking we get in there, you know what, we took a little bit of time. It took a little bit to get our fucking like, we had to stand in the line for will call to get like, just to deal with all that like the little bit of logistics that first day fucking sucked, you know. And thank God I have a little bit of a veteran. I am fully convinced people love standing in lines. If they see a line, they accept it like this is what it is, and they'll stand in it, no questions asked. Right. And I'm talking in all facets. I'm talking
what
baseball.
Do you think that is?
I have so many. I don't know. It's just a working theory because, all right, this is what spawned that whole theory. One time I was trying to go to an event at United Center, right? Okay. As soon as me and Sel get out of the fucking taxi, there's a stupid long line. I'm talking fucking roller coaster line to the corner. And we're thinking, fuck, it's going to be like a 45-minute wait just to get in this thing.
Yeah.
So And I was like, all right, whatever. We hop out. We're engaged in because this was, you know, when we first started dating. You know, now we're obviously broken up, but when we first started a while ago, we were just engaged in good conversation. So we're like standing in the back of the line, and I'm like, man, it didn't feel right. I'm like, you know what? We got, I think we got like we got cool with like people in line. We're like, hey man, we're gonna check real quick. Sure enough, there's 4 doors getting United Center. The one door we had all the line. 3 doors
empty as
people just walking in. No one gives a fuck to look. In that moment, because it's happened to me a couple times throughout my life where like I waited an unnecessary line.
Yep.
And I vowed to never do that again, because if you see a giant line, you might as well check the front, because you can always still go to the back of the line.
You can always go back.
Right? So, sure enough, there's this long-ass line. I go, Mauricio, we're not fucking waiting in this. No way. Because it happened to me at Spring Awakening. I figured out that people are they're not paying attention. They'll they accept the lines, and they're just going with the flow. You go with the flow.
Yeah.
You're just going to be stuck behind all those dumbass motherfuckers, you know?
Yeah.
So, sure enough, it's the same thing, one line, and then of course there's still a line to get in, but I went from going like a block away to 15 feet away from the fucking, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what was crazy is I waited in that line, and because I was like, I had a special wristband, which I'll get to, which was so sick. I had to go to a different line. They're like, oh, you got a special all access. You got to go to like where because me and Mauricio went to where there was like an artist where you can get your things. So there's obviously no line there. Anyways, got it. Fine. Cool. Got all the 3 wristbands, one for each day, but the Sunday one was gold, meaning all access. Okay, I'll get to what that means. So the first night, and I told Mauricio for like a fucking month, I'm like, you're not ready. I'm like, you're not ready for what this weekend is. I'm like, you are just not ready. He just didn't know what he didn't know, so I forgive him. But I kept telling him, you don't know. I'm like, you aren't ready. So sure enough, it's like imagine standing up on your legs 6-7 hours and a little bit of dancing, you know?
Okay, yeah.
It's a workout in every bit of the word.
Yep.
I'm talking like, and it's hot, sweaty.
Yep.
If you're not used to being and Mauricio's not used to being on his feet like this, so like, I remember those days, like your back is fucked, your legs are fucked. So anyways, the first night, he's being a trooper. I could tell when it got past like 9:30, he's like tired from the whole, because that whole day, to back it up, we're at the Kimpton still. We spent all day on the rooftop.
Okay.
So we went to the beach. We walked
chilling
around. Yeah, dude. We're just soaking it up, getting dehydrated. Really. And we were conscious about drinking like liquid IVs and water. Like we were on top of it.
Yep.
And that night I knew that I was gonna have a little fun. I was gonna take a little extracurricular. I was gonna pop a little pilly, and I knew I had to prep for that. So like I drank a bunch of water. Well, it being really warm and me starting at a really dehydrated, I was at a deficit without really knowing.
Okay.
Dude, I got rocked Friday. I was rocked. I was so rocked. I was at probably the most rocked, most high I've been at a festival, and I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
Okay, I've gone to many festivals, taken copious amounts of drugs, and I'm always cool. You don't got to worry about me. Like, I'll tell you, oh, bro, I'm fucked up, but you don't ever have to worry about me. You know, I'm just like letting you know, like, I'm fucking rolling, you know?
Okay.
So it was, like I said, I unexpected, because, all right, so when you pop a Molly, your body, if someone touches you and you're rolling, you got a fever. You're legitimately running at like 100, and that's why I say pop a Molly, I'm sweating, because your body's reacting to it, and you're hot. That plus 85 degrees, plus tens of thousands of people around me, body heat like a motherfucker. So boom, we're having a good time. Fucking, I brought weed inside too, so I'm smoking up. Dude, the visuals were just unbelievable. But I was getting so fucked where I was like, dude, I couldn't even get like my eyes. I couldn't keep them open. I was getting like kaleidoscope kind of eyes. But it felt good just to kind of close them and just vibe for a second. But then you're like, wait, I'm here to look at shit. And then you have to remind you, like, you snap out of it like 2 minutes.
Okay.
You go down like this fucking just little journey and you come back. I'm like, fuck, bro, I'm so fucked. And then it got to a point I was like, hey, dude, we got to go I got to breathe. Like, I'm starting to get like, I could feel my hands were tingling, and that's dehydration feel. Like I felt this before. Like, I know I get it right on the bottom of my forearms, and then my pink, like this whole little line right here, it gets tingly. Like I'm like, yes. And I'm like, and like I said, I felt that before leaving Vegas. Like I was hella dehydrated. Like I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So I was like, boom, let's go in the back. I already drank like 4 bottles of water there. I ended up buying 7 more bottles of water and a Gatorade. Chugged all them bitches. Didn't have to pee. That's how you know, just running, fucking, yeah, dude. So I'm sweating, having a good time. We go off to the back, sit down. I sit down. I'm like, bro, I gotta sit down. Sit on the curb for like just 5 minutes, just to collect. Just gotta breathe a little bit. Like, I'm like, damn, Audi. So I'm like, you're seeing me at the most rarest. Like, nobody's seen me like this before. I was like, I wasn't acting a fool, but I just was like self-regulating. I had to really keep my shit straight. Of like, you're going down a path where you might need to go to the emergency. Like, there was probably about like 3 to 5 minute period. I was like, all right, do I tell him that maybe we might need to at least know where the emergency tent is, just so it's like not such a sprawl if I fucking just drop right here, because it could happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm keeping my cool. I'm using all my. He can't really see all this.
Okay.
He can like see. I'm still dancing, but like in my mind, I'm like, fuck, bro, breathe. I'm like, you're not gonna die. You're just fucking. You're high and you're just dehydrated. Like I know what's going on, but I'm still feeling the way I'm feeling. So, boom, we ended up. We get all right. So the night ends. So had a good night. Dude, I had girls come. The amount of Latinas, my man.
I know.
The amount, and not a Mexican in sight. So I'm so used to seeing. We're so used to seeing Mexicans around here. Yeah. Not a Mexican in sight. Yeah. All Colombian, Brazilian, Cubano, fucking all of Venezuela, all Peru, like you said, dude, they're just all everywhere. Of them, right? Yep. So, and I would see, and you listen, like when you're at these festivals, and people are starting to get fucked up, girls. When it's impossible, like, you know, when someone's checking you out, you can't mistaken it, and you're like, I don't know, is she checking me out? Nah, she's like fucking tapping her friend and be like, and like there's, you know, I was so fucked up, I couldn't even talk. I wasn't gonna even try, because I would talk to Mauricio like, blah, 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 yeah, but really, and I couldn't even like finish what I was gonna, you know, I would trail off. He would be laughing at me. That he called me out on it like the next day. He's like, dude, you know. He's like, I never noticed anyone on shit before. He's like, but the way you were talking, he's like, I'm not talking shit, but like you would talk, and you just trail off. And I'd be like, it's hard to talk. Yeah. It's like once I can get into a rhythm of talking, but if I'm just chilling, and then I try to say a line, that first line's getting flubbed up. It's like I can't just clearly speak. So me trying to talk to a girl was not in the cards. And I was almost losing my composure. Like, you know, I had to really focus on not passing out or like not getting, like, just knowing the signs and having to deal with it, and all in real time, you know. And then we would, like I said, I'd cool off. I'd be, okay, bro, that's hell yeah, that's what I needed. Go right back into it. Fucking 25 minutes later, oh fuck, bro, we gotta go in the back, dude. I'm fucking spinning, because it would have happened. Just that you would get overheated. It's just like you couldn't escape that heat. And I'm wearing literally probably this exact shirt, and it was a different one, but I did wear this the second day actually. But and I had it buttoned down, like I was comfortable, but I was still so hot. Mauricio was sweating, right? I could see him. When I touched his skin, it was like it was cold. Oh shit! That's how much I was burned. I didn't even realize how much I was until I touched his skin. Just on accident, I could feel like his shit was cold. So boom. So we're leaving. So we have no ride. Okay, we technically had a ride home through this girl Jory, but finding her, and they might have been there for another hour closing up, like, just because they're still like they're part of production, they could be there as long as they want. Still, exactly. And I told him, I was like, we're not going to rely on the ride home. If we get it, great, but let's not rely on it, because, and he was, at first he had big dreams about after parties and shit. I'm like, bro, we are not going to any after parties. You're not going to have the energy. you're just, I know how these things go. And in theory, you're like, hell yeah, I want to keep partying. Your body's like, get the fuck out of here. You're not partying anymore. I've been bobbing around for 7 hours. Think about that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, dude, and thank God I'm in shape, because and was almost preparing for this, because Mauricio brought the Theragun, which,
okay,
dude, that's in the repertoire now of veteran moves. Bring that Theragun for the next morning. The next morning, I was drilling my legs. I was like, oh my, and I couldn't. Oh yeah. So, of course, I didn't eat shit basically all day.
God.
Took that Molly pill. That's another reason why it smacked me so hard, because I was on an empty stomach, and I didn't eat. You don't feel like eating. The last thing on your mind is eating.
Yeah.
Right. So. Which was a mistake, because if I can eat, then I'll be able to sleep, because that pill has something to break it down. It's I feel like it just stays in your system longer if you have nothing else in it. Right. Didn't sleep 1 minute.
Oh no.
Not 1 minute. And Mauricio, we had to share a room, and we're actually sharing a fucking L couch, and this motherfucker snores like a goddamn train coming through.
You're just sawing logs.
Oh my. I fucking recorded it. I'm putting it on, this is what I gotta deal with. I'm putting it on my Snapchat. This fucking guy. And I can't be mad at it. I threw pillows at him. I threw shirts at him just to so it could momentarily quiet him up. Because if I woke him up a little bit, or if he rolled over, he'd be alright. But then he'd snore right again, right? So whatever. Boom. Here's day 2. Now I'm tired as shit, right? And then Mauricio in the morning goes, hey man, I got some fucking bad news. I go, what, dude? He goes, I don't think I can go to the second day. He's like, he had work proposals he had to do. Understandable. The real fact of the matter is, I guarantee he was so sore he couldn't even fathom another day of that. Yeah, right? Which I understand. I know it. And
he was
listen, he's a little bit bigger boy, so sure. I knew he would be hurting, So I was like, fine. I was like, you don't care if I go? He goes, he's like, no, you better go. Yeah, no. I was like, all right, cool. As long as there's no kind of ill will, because he doesn't need me at that moment. He had real proposals that had deadlines. He's like, this is kind of the only time I'd have to do it. I go, whatever, dude. He's like, maybe I'll show up later. I'm like, you're not going to show up later, so boom. So now I'm by myself. Hanging out by myself. I'm in my element. It's always nice. It's always like a learning thing, doing things by yourself, going to restaurants, going to concerts, whatever, by yourself.
Yeah.
Because of course, I'm the hero of my movie, right? I'm the main character of my movie. So I think everyone's just staring at me and wondering why I'm by myself, which there probably is there is that level. That's another part of the story I'll get to. But so boom, it's I find a little spot, I'll jam out, but what kept fucking happening, bro, that almost ruined my last 2 days. It almost did. It ruined it a certain percentage. I don't know how much percentage, maybe 25% of my time, maybe 20. Bro, would you believe it or not? Every time I would pull up, so I'd go by myself, and especially when it started getting more when the sun was setting around 7, 8, and then everyone's starting to take their drugs and everyone thought I was a cop.
Oh no.
Everyone thought I was a cop. I could hear every time I fucking would walk. So imagine this, and imagine a couple things, especially Saturday. I put all 3 wristbands on, and then Sunday when I was done, took it off. So Saturday I have 2 wristbands. One's gold. Nobody has gold wristbands.
Yeah.
Nobody. I'm telling you, out of the 200,000 people, there was probably tens of people who have this wristband. 20, 30 people tops.
Yeah.
So I could hear, why does he have 2 wristbands? Must be a cop. Oh, hey, officer. I could hear all this shit. I'm like, fuck. And on Saturday, I was so tired. I didn't want to take any pills or anything, because of I was kind of faking the funk. I hate to admit that. I was faking it. I was just trying to psych myself up. I'm like, dude, you're in this fucking thing. You're here. get with it. And I did my best, and I danced, and I'd have moments of like little energy, but my body was so beat up, dude, so beat up from the sun, from the drugs, from the dehydration, from the lack of food,
sleep,
and I'm saying, there's no sleep, and the fucking extreme workout I did the day before. So I I would hear these people. It would like kill my vibe. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I had a little drawstring bag. I'm literally wearing this shirt second day, and I don't look any different than anyone. But the fact is, everyone noticed I was by myself. I could hear girls. Why is he by him? Is he by himself? Why is he by? He's too good looking to be by himself. Then a friend would be like, oh yeah, he's a cop. I swear to God, if I heard that 10 times on Saturday and 15 times on Sunday. So whatever, and then it would fuck with me. So then I'm like, boom, I'd bust a blunt out, right? I'm like, okay. And then they thought it was part of the act. They think a cop like that's how I'm gonna disarm people. And then when I was hitting the blunt, they're like, oh, those clouds are too big, he's not even inhaling it. Like a cop would do that. Maybe listen, it is possible. I guess it would be kind of smart, but there's got to be some rules that a cop can't just be dragging a blunt, even if he's not inhaling it as undercover. There's got to be some kind of rules, right? And if you think about, I guess I don't blame them, because nobody can fathom that somebody be at ultra by themselves.
Right.
They can't fathom that.
Right.
Now I would hear debates. I'd hear from girls. Most girls had my back. All dudes thought I was a cop. And I would be dancing and whatever, and I'm not a great dancer, but I guess comes to festival dancing, I got it. I'll get people to stare at me, whatever. I'm dancing, I'm doing all my dances, I'm smoking, it's not working. Boom, I'm like, okay, fuck it. I go to the next spot. And I literally would just like, there was like 4 or 5, because I mostly stayed at the main stage, especially on Saturday, because the lineups were unbelievable. There's like pretty much 4 sections. There was like a left kind of side, and there was like a couple little trees that kind of broke it up. Then there was like kind of 2 central kind of sides, and there was like another side. So you could almost think of like 4 big areas for like the main stage. I would have to just I'd go to all of them, and then as soon as like you're going up, and because you have to stop at some, if you're moving. There's people moving in and out of crowds, me walking around, I didn't feel weird. But the moment you have to stop, those 6 people would just watched a random white dude come and stop and just start staring. Gold wristband they're eyeballing me. They're fucking, for sure, he's a cop. He's a cop.
For sure.
And I was like, fuck. And it ruined the last, maybe on Saturday, it ruined the last, like, okay, so there was these 2 chicks. So I'm like, I didn't talk to no girls fucking Friday. I'm like, Saturday, dude, you gotta at least fucking talk to somebody, like, okay. So then I see these 2 girls, and then they're, like I said, basically one elbows the other one and fucking points at me. The other one's like, So I was like, man, fuck it. They're right here. I go, hey, what's up, ladies? They're like, hey, one was from there, one was from her friend from Germany. And I was like, hey, is it cool if I party with you guys? I mean, I'm by myself. My boy didn't want to come today. I'm like, people were thinking I'm a cop. It just made me feel weird. I was like, can I hang? When I did that whole little thing, she's like, yeah, cool. I was like, sweet. Now I got like people, I'm like, hey, you want to smoke a blunt? She's like, yeah, cool. So now I feel like, okay, I'm a part of something. I no longer feel weird, because it was taking me out of the moment when I could hear these people, and they're all fucked up. They're screaming at each other. They don't think I could hear them, because they're all fucked up, and you're at a loud place. Everyone's just screaming, right? It's like being at a bar. It's like motherfucker can hear you. I'm 4 feet away from you. And so whatever. And then this chick was like, it was weird, because like, I thought she was into me, whatever. And then, okay, let me ask you your opinion. I don't know what you would say. It's too bad we don't have a female here to ask them. But if you talk to a girl, okay, usually the very, very first icebreaker has to be from the guy. Some girls will come up to you and spark the convo, but let's face it, I would say 8.5 to 10 out of 10, you have to start it. So boom. I could hear her. I think I even kind of heard her say, well, if he, like, no, I can't go up to him. So I was like, okay, I did my first move, just said hello, whatever. Then after like whatever 5-10 minutes, I think she kind of made her way in front of me to like we're facing the stage. Now she's instead of being on the side of me, she's directly in front of me. Okay. Now I don't know if that was for me to take that the sign for me to dance with her, but what does that mean? Like, can I physically put my body up on her? I guess I could have tried to see whatever, but I didn't do that yet. And she was just kind of standing there. And then after like a couple minutes, she like darted off to the side. I was like, all right. And then I remember like there was kind of a dude in my way. So I'm like, whatever, it can make sense. It'll make sense for me to move anyway. So I kind of moved closer, and whatever, a little bit later, like she's 5-7 feet away from me, and her friend's getting closer to me. I don't even know if her friend knows much English. And I was like, whatever, dude, I'm not doing this like chasing little thing. I don't know if this is like some kind of cat and mouse little thing. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing it. So I'm like, damn. And it had been like now like over an hour and a half has passed. I'm like, damn, I put my eggs in this wrong basket. I was like, I fucked up. And I don't know if I didn't do the right move, but it's like, I didn't know. I guess I could have said like, hey, do you want to dance? But I don't know what that even, we're all dancing anyways, but what does that really mean? That now we can physically hold each other while we're dancing? I don't know. That's what I wouldn't want to ask somebody. It's like, what does that mean? Like, I don't think it would have been out of pocket to fucking kind of grab her by the hip and be like, hey, do you want to dance? Because if she was down, then she just fucking...
Well, I mean, you got to be a little aggressive, but that's like overkill.
Right.
That would be overkill.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking, because if she got like... She wasn't like right up on me. She was, you know, an arm's length away from me, so it wasn't like she's like fucking 1 inch... Her ass is 1 inch from my dick, and now I'm not taking the hint. It wasn't that. So I was like, whatever. I got her Instagram and fucking, I tried to add her. She like left it unresponded the next day. I was like, fuck. I deleted it. I was like, oh fuck. I don't know why she, because I remember even, I was like, hey, you doing Anthony after parties? She's like, I don't know. I was like, oh, well, neither do I. And then it was about to be a half hour. So, all right, I didn't get to finish about the getting home. Getting home was like an issue. We don't have like a ride. So yeah. We got lucky with the first night. We found an Uber. So that's my...
And how far were you from the festival?
Like a 35-minute ride. So it cost me $150.
Holy fuck.
And I paid... But that was it's the out-of-town tax. The get me home right now, solve my problem right now tax. Okay. And to be honest, I knew that was coming, so I was willing to do. I told my Mauricio, he goes 150. At first, he didn't want to get in the car. I'm like, no, we got to get in the car with this guy. He was a little like Israeli. I'm like, dude, this guy's not gonna do anything to us, like, you know. And because he's still not used to getting in the car with strangers kind of idea, even though he's still Ubers, but whatever. We're in a different place, but. So we get home. So the second night, I knew I was gonna have to do that again, and we got lucky. Dude was right at the exit. I mean, we got lucky as fuck that first day. We didn't have to go nowhere to look. As soon as the guy, hey, you need a ride? And I was like, I'm fucked up. Yep, we need a ride. And he's like, where are you guys going? And we're like, here's the edge. He's like, oh, that's far. And we're like, well, I'll give you $100 because it's always like the get you. I'll give you $100. Ah, it's not enough. 120. Nah, that's not enough. I'm like, 140. He's like, you give me 140 bucks? I'm like, I'll give you 140 bucks. I had a bunch of cash on me. I'm like, here's look. Yeah, all right, cool. I ended up giving 150 because I didn't have change.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I'm not going to, I'm like, fuck it. I guess I could pay the 150, whatever. Second night, I knew this, so not by myself. I'm like, okay, I want to find that exact same, because it was like a little bit of an underpass. It seemed like there was like 3-4 cars waiting there already. So I'm like, I want to find that place again, because chances are I'll find that same dude again, and of course he'll love to give me a ride for that kind of money. So I tell these chicks, I go, hey man, it was like 20 minutes before this was about to be officially done. They shut the lights off, kick everybody out, and then you got literally 100,000 plus people fucking exiting, and then 50,000 of them all doing the same thing that I'm trying to do. Right. So I was like, oh no, I need to beat this traffic. And so I went out by myself, found this lady was fucking so it was in downtown Miami, and they had a bunch of streets blocked off. So you had to walk like 3-4 blocks just to get away from it, where you're even accessible to, a car park. So sure enough, like I see this Tahoe, whatever, with blinking lights. I seen the Uber thing. I'm like, hey, are you waiting for somebody? She goes, yeah, I'm waiting for something. I'm like, listen, I'll give you $100. I need to go here. She goes, it's not enough. I was like, all right, 120. The whole spiel. another $150. She's like, $150. I go, fuck, it's whatever. Take me home. And I got her number that day, so I was like, listen, I'm probably going to need a ride tomorrow. If you're going to be here downtown tomorrow, I'm like, we could do the same thing. She's like, all right, cool. So whatever, I get home, fucking tell Marisa about my night. I'm like, dude, everyone fucking thought I was a cop. It was like, it was a weird thing. And I've gone to festivals by myself and never dawned on me that would be a thing. It does make sense. Okay, it can make sense.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like I'm a clean cut looking like white boy, and it's all white cops over there. It's mostly like white cops.
Yep, got a cop physique.
Yeah, dude, and that's what I think that's what some of them are saying. Like I just look too in shape, and they have in shape cops. So listen, they're so different than Chicago cops.
They're all shaved.
They're all military status. Like that's how they look.
They wear shorts. They shave their legs.
It scared the shit out of me, boy. Not only did I see it coming, loud ass noise. Our fucking studio's falling apart here. So whatever. So that night, I'm like, hey, we gotta make sure we find food. And like I said, I only smoked that day, so I was really preparing for the third day. And then the third day arrives, right? So now we got this all access, and I'm like, hey, what does this even mean? Like, what can I do with this wristband? She's like, you can go anywhere you want, but maybe the main stage. They might let you on the main stage, but they probably won't. But you could probably go by the stage, but not literally on the backstage of the main stage.
Wow.
All the other ones I was able to.
So you could go right in the front.
I got video of me the DJs where you're at.
Yeah.
Here's my camera, and then I zoomed to the pan out to the crowd. Dude, I was in between the fucking barrier where the headbangers are and with the securityers and the stage. I was able to walk through that shit.
Wow.
Taking fucking video of both sides, and like, just blew my mind. And Sunday, Mauricio had to work, actually do his work. So I helped him for the first like hour and a half. I set it all up. Then his connect, like the guy was kind of overseeing the art stuff, who also worked for this Joe guy. He's like, hey, want me to take you around and see what this wristband can do? I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like, this guy's just got to work anyways. I got like hours where I'm not needed, you know?
Right.
I took a bunch of badass camera footage of him. I did a lot of cool stuff, and I helped him on the mural in Jamaica, which I'll get to. I've been rambling this whole time.
Just keep going.
Keep going.
Keep
cool.
going.
I know, right?
Don't stop.
I haven't really told too many people my stories, so I got a lot to just keep rambling off. So he takes me, and there was this guy, Yuki, Yooki, is these two fucking bigger boys, look like Hawaiian dudes kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
And they're playing bangers, dude. It's like 4 o'clock. It's like 4 o'clock. So I remember they got off stage at 4:30. Just fucking bangers, dude. I was like, and I took my pill already because I wanted to take it earlier on in the day because I got so wrecked off it that I want to give it some time to wear off because it's about a 3-4 hour thing. You'll feel it maybe in the 5th, 6th hour, but you're not feeling it the way you felt it. It's just kind of remnants. So I wanted to try to make sure I'm coming down by the end of the night, you know, actually fucking sleep because I still have a whole fucking week of, you know, shit to do. So boom, this guy takes me. First off, he takes me in this like igloo that's for like special people. Like there's like these ultra reward members. Like if you've gone to ultra, you rack up points. Like you can be like one of those people, yeah. And it comes with some perks. And one of the perks was like this fucking little igloo looking thing that was air conditioned. Ooh. It was a different world. Yeah, it was like you walked in this door. It was like I was like you're in a refrigerator. Like I felt so good. We ate some food there. And we brought food there, and then he's like, "Hey, let's go check out some stages." He's like, "Oh, you want to smoke a blunt on the backstage?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" I smoked a blunt with him and some roadie guys, and they were like, "Dude, they're all cool as hell." And I was like such a dude. I had my camera the whole fucking time, all of my Instagram stories, all that shit, dude. I was like, man, what an experience, dude. It was like, especially someone like me who really likes festivals and gone to them and done them, to have that kind of access. I was like, sick. I pray on everything that he goes again next year because I'm 10,000% will for sure be able to go again. I don't know if they'll like hook me up because like no one else really had like an assistant, you know. It's like, but I think it's because we had the Jamaica leg, is why I think it was more okay for me to go. So I'm really hoping I can still go.
Right.
Obviously, I can still go to Ultra, but I want like that access,
Right,
because that was everything.
And
like
now,
I didn't
now
have,
you're gonna know.
I could be in areas where like no one else is allowed. Like I was able to use bathrooms, just show my wristband, go, and it was just so. It's a flex too. It's kind of cool. Like if you want to be like that kind of person, I was flexing hard as fuck on my Instagram. I ain't gonna front, because I was like, there's no one who gets this kind of. I'm on the fucking stage blowing blunts, dude. It was like sick, dude, and so, boom, Sunday was a great time. And the same thing. So Mauricio was there Sunday. He wanted to see, but he fucking ditched out on me the last 2-3 hours. And I'm like, oh, he's like, hey, bro, you're going to be upset, but I got to go. I'm like, what, dude? He's like, but he gave me this whole, I know he couldn't. I'm like, I knew you weren't fucking ready. I fucking told you weren't ready for this. You weren't built for this shit. And he's like, it's not that I'm not having fun. He's like, I'm just not in it as much as you are. I go, no doubt. I get that. It's like, you got to be really about it to deal with all the bullshit that comes with it, being tired, being fucking dirty by then, and I'd be sweaty, probably be a little smelly, but just deal with all that. You got to be about it, Yeah. So he ends up leaving me. So sure enough, I'm cool. And then like, whatever, I wander off to the spot. Here's a cop. Oh, hey, and then I hear guys, man, I wonder what the cop's doing. He's not even like, I'm not doing anything. And what was crazy is people would like put their phones up to record something, and then I'd hear, he's looking at everybody's phone. It's like, first off, it's literally impossible for me not to. The stage is like with the TV, it's like that view. If you see somebody's phone it's in my field of vision. Like, yeah, I guess I am kind of looking at it. I'm not staring at it. I could see it. And it was like every time somebody made a comment, I felt like I tried to subconsciously do something to avoid it, but it was almost making me look more like a cop. So it was, the more I try to be like, not look like one, and then I could hear him. Oh, he could hear us. Look, people were reacting to stuff I was doing. There was one area where there was this restroom area that only special access people went to, and I went to it because I knew it. There was like a specific bathroom I knew I'd never have to like. It's like clean, cold, and fucking nobody would be there. So I kept going to that one, and then they had like little areas where you could sit down. So boom, I would, of course, like throughout Saturday and Sunday, I had to take a lot of breaks. Dude, I had to like stretch my legs out. Dude, one of my breaks, I was sitting next to, I don't know, these Chinese, I don't know what Asian they were, but they were some kind of Asian. Okay. And I don't know what the word for pictures is for Asian, but it sounds a lot like pictures. And there was this time where I'm like, I had my phone in my hand. And he's like, the guy freaked out that I was taking pictures of him. So when people are on drugs, listen, you're very paranoid. Sure. You take all these little things and then you just add it that I'm by myself. Yep. And then they build the story real quick, Yep. And I'm like, fuck. Now these guys, I'm feeling weird. I'm like, nah, I'm cool as a fuck. And I'm just kind of stretching. And then I could hear one guy trying to calm him down. But the one guy's like, nah, man, he's taking pictures. But he's saying it like in their language, but the word pictures was close. Like I could, and the way my phone was angled, I guess it does kind of look like it. But motherfucker I didn't make any eye contact with him. It's like, what do you think I'm doing? Like, I don't know what they think I'm possibly doing. Even if I was a cop, what kind of reconnaissance am I doing? Like, I knew guys that you have to worry, but everyone has drugs on them, so they're all worried. They think that something they're going to get. Listen, there are undercover cops that are in these festivals, 100%, no doubt about it. But the thing is, they were not by themselves. There's no way. They're in pairs too. They'll act like they're trying to buy drugs or whatever, Yeah. So now I'm rolling up. I was having a great time. There was one stage that was kind of near the art district. And I went, the one security guard there, he didn't give a fuck, dude. I got to, because some try to regulate exactly where I could go within my out of bounds area. They're still there's like, okay. Hey, they didn't want you too close to the artist. And if they're doing shots, you got to make sure you're not in that camera view. Like they're, got to be wary of the person that's taking like ultra footage, Right. So, that place, the guy didn't give a fuck, and there was cases and cases of water, and I noticed one guy, he fucking was handing out waters to people. So I went to one security, I was like, hey man, you care for handing out water? He's like, nah, bro. So many people were because all the front rowers, they're like the headbangers going hard.
Yeah.
They like that area, but the thing is, it's hard to get in and out.
Yeah.
And once you leave, you're not getting back to that spot.
Right.
So some of these people are literally on death's doorstep, I should say. And they're like fucking, and you pass out water, it's like you just gave them just fucking a miracle. They're like, oh, it was because the guy there was cases and cases of water. I'm just fucking passing out. I'm looking like I'm somebody. Well, the thing in that thing too, which gave me some credibility, is Mauricio has one of those really nice, like your camera. Mm-hmm. You know, with those lenses,
yep.
that makes you look professional. You got that kind of shit. So I would take video. I'm on speakers, taking video. It's just dude. There was like that one specific stage. I don't know. There was like the speakers were stacked up too high, and there was like probably 20, and you'd walk by it. That bass is like shit. Fucking it's changing changing the air in my lungs, like, you know. Oh man, it was so great. And then so boom, that's the ultra. That was my ultra experience. Fucking great. So I ended up leaving like 30 minutes, 40 minutes early on Sunday, maybe even an hour, because everyone thought I was a cop, and it ruined my time. Maybe there's some level of paranoia. Maybe nobody was talking about me, but every little sound, maybe I wanted to hear. I don't want to say I wanted to hear it, but I was expecting to hear it. Yeah. It's more the first. It's not the latter. Like, I'm sure, listen, maybe there is some things I'm mixing up, but I know the fucking shits that I heard, and people definitely thought I was a cop. So it ruined my time, dude. I was like, and I would walk. I'd be like, nah, listen, man, you're here. It couldn't shake it. And you just can't shake that, like, fucking that nasty taste in your mouth, you know? So I was like, man, fuck it. I was like, I'm fucking beat up anyways. And I was like, fucking, so boom, that was my ultra experience.
So what would you do different?
What would I do different you can't go by yourself. Or, okay, this is what I'd do different. I think I would nip it in the butt. I hear someone talk about either that, or as soon as I stop, literally make a joke about it. Like, literally turn around to the people, say, what's up? Hey, what's up? You guys care if I'm party here? My fucking friends ditched me. I'm by myself. You guys cool? Because if I do that, it'll work. Because that happens. People do separate. You do lose people. It can't happen. Yep. So it's not like a total weird thing that you're by yourself, but most people don't think you're popping around by yourself. So that would do that different. I would just fucking nip it in the butt, like, soon as. And the thing is, so Saturday I met those like girls, so like
and a couple. I want to go back to that too,
right? And then Sunday I met an Australian couple, and I was like, you guys care if I chill here, right? I kind of did the spiel, like, hey man, my fucking friends ditched me, blah blah. You guys, but yeah, I'm like, oh, where you guys from? I'm like, oh, Australia. I was like, oh, okay, cool. The boyfriend was fucking on another planet. They were both on acid, I think, or either that or Molly, whatever. They smoked a blunt with me, so we got cool, you know. And then I don't know if my weed was strong or if the dudes were just feeling a type of way, but they're like, all right, we're gonna get going, and they just kind of left me, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, damn, I'm by myself again. Sure enough, it's like, he wasn't with them. Like I could hear people see that now they left me, because once I started talking to them, I was like, oh, it looked like I was with them, but then once they left me, like, I realized I was by myself. It just ruined my time, man. So I was like, fuck, I couldn't shake it. And I was like, it sucks that it's. So I would do that different. I would just kind of like nip it in the butt. I'd also make sure I had Xanax or Tylenol PM. And the thing is, I fucking made this rule 10 years ago, and I still haven't like fully. I tried to look for Xanax, but I couldn't get it. I got it Sunday though. So Tylenol PM, I need something that's going to bring me down. It's going to take the shut off, you know, because you just fucking, and then all that water finally crept up. I must have pissed 40 times that night throughout that time. Because I think my body was like, no, we're going to keep all this liquid because we don't know when he's going to, if he's going to really need it. Yep. And as soon as I got home and relaxed, my body's like, okay, we don't need all this. And I piss and piss.
You couldn't sleep that night?
Couldn't sleep. No, that was the first night.
Oh, okay.
Second night, I was able to sleep because I made sure, I'm like, there's got to be a late night spot, some food somewhere, something. We found like I got like a burger or something, you know, whatever. It was good, and it fucking hit the spot. Sunday was the same thing. We fucking just got some food late night. It was fine. So now this brings us to our Jamaica trip, okay, which was a whole different experience. So we fly into Montego Bay. So the part of the Jamaica we stayed is not near the resorts, the nice area. We went to the country, 9 Mile, okay? There is literally one road you're on for like 2 hours on this stupid narrow road. Now, Mauricio's never been outside the country.
Up and down mountains, or?
Yes, hillsides, not mountains, but like hills and cliffs. There's cliffs. Yep. Mauricio's never been outside the country, so he's never experienced not United States streets, right? Which is it's a culture shock. Like when you go to these countries and they have these, not only are they on the steering wheels on the other side, the driving on the other side, it looks like you're about to be on a head-on crash almost every time you pass a car.
It's narrow. They drive too fast.
And the thing is like, I'm a little bit used to it. You know, I've experienced out-of-country driving, and it's a little wild. So I kind of knew what's up. Mauricio was fucking white-knuckling it. Dude, he was uneasy. And our driver, we had a little bit of an older driver. He cut this dude off. And mind you, I'm oblivious. So this is him telling me the story afterwards. I think I'm already kind of like fucking around on my phone. Because, we got SIM cards too, which was one of the smartest ideas. Because our phones won't work. Your phone won't work there. Right. So I bought a SIM card and actually had really great internet. Actually, there was a tower like fucking one block from us.
Probably better in it.
It was. It kind of was.
Yeah.
So we cut this guy off. I guess this dude chased us for like a couple miles. And I'm modest. I mean, she didn't say nothing. All of a sudden, we pull in a parking lot because we're trying to figure out, because we had to stop at like a true, actually, they had a True Value out there. And Mauricio couldn't bring all his spray cans, right? Because he's a muralist. He does his art with spray cans, and they're kind of a special kind of spray can, so it can give him sharper lines. It gives him more detail instead of like a fucking Rust-Oleum can, which he ended up using. They wanted $3,000 to ship all his paint out. Right. Wow. And he's like, because I guess it's called hazardous materials, those aerosol cans. Yep. So he's like, whatever. He ended up buying his cans of paint out there. And it's basically like, I used the analogy, it's like going to a job site with a screwdriver instead of a drill. Yep. It's like, yes, your screwdriver will work, but you don't have the right tools for this fucking job, you know? And, so we pull in this parking lot. This guy pulls up next to us. You guys want to fucking die? And without skipping a beat, our driver's like, God, man, we're lost, man. We're trying to go over here. And the guy's like, all right, man, what you want to do is you want to fucking go that way. Like, he was pissed, but then he could see like we had a little bit of older driver, and he played it off smooth as hell, like just straight up, I'm a lost old man. And it was just like that. So, but Mauricio had been tense for 10 minutes. I didn't know any of this was going on. Obviously seen the guy pull up and say what he said, but I didn't know he was chasing us because we cut him off fucking 5 miles ago, you know. But Mauricio, he's fucking, and the way the driver's side's on the right side, he's on the left side, so he's getting the view of all the. He's just panicked, right? Yeah. So we get there and he's like, bro, you don't know how tense I was. I go, I could feel it, but I didn't know what was going on, right? Because I'm like, fuck, I'm just happy and I'm kind of used to it. I trust this guy. This guy drives in this shit every day, you know? And he's like, I was uneasy. I was like, whatever. So boom, we get to the fucking 9 Mile place. This is the country. I'm talking like poor, bro. I'm talking, listen, Jamaica is a poor country in general. Imagine what the poor part looks of a poor country. I'm talking these huts and these bars and these restaurants. I shit you not. You know, dude, they're like 4 foot by 3 feet little things. Like legit. Like that's how big they are. So the first day we meet fucking Bob Marley's brother, Richard.
Wow.
Right? And he's like, fucking, what's up, guys? And he lives in Miami. So he could speak really well. All his little henchmen and shit, they all spoke English and shit, but it was like, goddamn, like you had to really fucking decipher that fucking shit, you know?
Right.
And the first night we got there, like it was already kind of getting the sun was setting, and the first thing Mauricio wanted to do was just project his image and get little outlines. That was the first night. So the first night, you know, people were being cool. We're like, all right. And then we had a couple, we had like 2 dudes that were kind of like our, what do you need? I'll tell me what you need, and, you know, we'll get it. So the first night I was like, hey man, I need some ganja. I was like, who's the man I talked to about ganja? And he's like, oh, I'm the man. I go, all right. I'm like, I definitely need some. I'm like, but don't give me that fucking tourist bullshit. My exact words. I'm like, don't give me that tourist fucking bullshit. He's like, all right, man, I got you. And he comes back with 2 tinfoils. One was filled with the fucking outdoor Jamaican swag that I knew they had. And then he showed me a really, like, to the comparison was fucking night and day. Yeah. Now, it's still not great. Like, really? if the homies over here had it, I wouldn't buy it off them because it's not great. But to the comparison, it was like, oh, this is actually like, this is not taken care of. This was semi taken care of. And it might have even been indoor because it looked it was bright, different color, green shape, everything. But it was a little on the moist side. Like they didn't cure it quite right. So I'm trying to roll joints and shit. And the first couple joints, man, like I couldn't get the motherfucker to smoke, man. These fucking the weed was too damp or whatever. It wouldn't burn right. So finally, on like the 3rd day, I realized, oh, they got blunts. I'm like, oh my god, why didn't I think that? Of course they have blunts. I'm thinking this is like a more American type thing, you know. Of course they had it, and it changed everything, you know. So we stayed in this little room. So our room, it's not nothing to brag about. It was clean. There was like a double full size that made 1 bed, and then I had like a little loft area that you could barely stand in, but it was like, you know, it was right up, they made like a little loft above the bathroom. Yeah. And there was only 1 fan. I tried it and I was like, hey Mauricio, I get the fan, right? And the first night it was like really hot at night, so we ended up sleeping in the same bed. I'm like, fuck it, we'll have the fan going. It's not a big deal. And, you know, it's literally 2 separate beds put together. So it was like, whatever. It was fine. And there was a couple fucking little lizards that kept sleeping in our room with us every night. And you know what's crazy? Like 2 days they didn't move. Like, what the like literally like 2 straight days this fucking thing's still in the same spot. I'm like, what don't these motherfuckers gotta eat?
Were they green or like all colored?
No, they were green.
Oh, okay.
They were just like, just local little, you know.
Yeah.
So, damn, I've been rambling for 52 straight minutes.
Keep going.
So nobody's even watching this far anyways.
You say that.
Dude, no, we're not.
You say that.
We get no extra views. I'm telling you. We got to pay that kid, whatever. Figure it out. Now, you're not hashtagging the right things. I think that's the problem. Anyways. So, boom. That's the first night. And so he shows us where the kitchen is. He goes, listen, this kitchen's open till 10. You guys get your food, you know, whatever. He didn't say, like, how often. Obviously, we knew that we're not going to get charged for meals, but we didn't, like, it's a poor country, right? So we're trying to, like, they don't have breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's not how they roll. Yep. Yeah, I think they probably eat just, like, once. They might have, like, little things throughout the day, but they have, like, 1 meal a day. So every morning, we went, like, straight to work. Just did our work thing because the sun, there was a couple, if that's, dude, Mauricio we just got so lucky because in Ultra, because there's other artists, their sun beaming on them. Mauricio gets the one spot where we have a tree. The whole dude, like the most perfect, so lucky this fucking one little tree's there. It saved everything because it's the difference of like being super miserable. Yeah. Just, you know, he'd be hot, sweaty, fucking, and he's wearing a long sleeves for the paint, and he's wearing a respirator. Just, you know how it is, being hot as fuck out there. Lucky as hell, boy. And we're right off the ocean, like. Our view was stupid. And we had the tree. It was just beautiful.
This was Florida.
This is Florida. Yeah. We go over here. It was overcast for 2 days while we were working. So lucky. So lucky because we were able to do so much because he had anticipated like, hey, we're gonna have to take a break for an hour, cool off, well, you know, just all that shit. But dude, we clocked in like 7 a.m. kind of thing. Yeah. Fucking worked until like 2. Or like 1, then we'd go take our lunch, and boom. Then we didn't have like, we didn't have like a lot of food options. They told us like, hey, you're gonna, what we can give you right now is curry chicken and rice. And being like, fuck it. The first time we had it, it was fucking, the flavors on point. And I'm not used to, they serve you little chicken legs, like real, all little chicken stuff. So like you have to peel little bones out, which not cool, but it's whatever. It's their way of doing things. It's like, fuck it. And small portion.
God, I fucking hate you, dude.
Oh, right. Because I'm being bougie?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Food was, the portions were kind of small, like, or like, well, I don't know. It's American small, probably large for them,
Yeah.
And that was the first night. Second night, or actually we had for dinner, or actually we had for lunch, and actually we had that for dinner because they're like, oh, that's what we have right now. And I think we could have asked for like cheeseburgers and stuff because like he had his wife, they had a burger one day. I was like, oh, I didn't know we can ask for that. Like they were just kind of, all we had was curry chicken and rice, fried chicken and rice, which was fire. Dude, the chef came out. We had like a 20-minute conversation. I was like, that was unbelievable chicken. She's like, oh, I'm like, you brine it? She goes, brine. She goes, I've been marinating that for 3 days. I was like, oh, there it is. It was the softest, crispiest fucking and I was like, okay. So and then the last time we had jerk chicken. Their jerk chicken and rice, bro. I lost
my favorite dish of all time.
I came back. I lost 7 pounds while being out there. Oof. Okay, so I haven't even really gotten to the juicy part of Jamaica. I'm just trying to build it up. So Mauricio I help with the background, and everything's on pace. We're actually going a day faster than he was thinking. A whole day. I think because we got lucky with the overcast and we're able to just put some more time in. Yep. And there was nothing else to do, to be honest. It's not like there was a beach 2 blocks away where we can go. Everything. It was 100% work. Like, So the last night, we got there Monday. We were supposed to paint Tuesday, Wednesday. Our flight was Friday. Our attention... We made an audible that we were going to go back to Montego Bay on Thursday because his connect that kind of set this up is staying in Montego Bay. We could have stayed a night with him, then catch our flight, already be in Montego Bay, then catch our flight because we had to go there anyways. We just got there a day early and had fun. So we're telling our driver like, hey, we're going to be done soon. We're going to need that ride a day early. So now... The mural at this point, okay, I'm looking at it. I'm not an artist. I know it doesn't look right. Like, first and foremost, Mauricio and this guy, they were on different pages to begin with, which was a problem.
Yeah.
Mauricio isn't a realism artist. He doesn't take paintbrushes and give you a portrait image of things.
Right.
He's getting really well known for his fractal, his colors. It's all spray can. So when Mauricio sent in the image of what these... So it was like their king and queen. I don't know what their names were. It's like the ones who started the Rastafari and the whole thing.
Haile Selassie. And,
exactly.
Yep. Shiva.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the image kind of had like blurry... A little bit blurred, like their crown was blurry. Had like this blurry look, and his staff had like this blurry look. Her kind of like so he was kind of being truthful to the image he submitted, but when you look at it, especially, dude, there's a big Bob Marley on this other wall. All the artwork is beautiful. It's beautiful, hand done by crazy artists. Took their time, but Mauricio had the biggest wall in this whole compound. And right when you open up the gate to walk in, off in the distance, it's the first thing you'll see. It's the first thing that will catch your eye. And so Mauricio tried to give him on like that Tuesday, Wednesday. He goes, yeah, we're about done, and it doesn't look done to me. I'm not going to say a goddamn thing. First off, what do I know? But let's face it, I'm not stupid. Like, I know especially when it comes to paint. Like, I know what a customer is gonna be. And what was crazy is like the second day they were talking to Richard, and he's like, yeah, man, I can't wait till you guys add all the detail. He hinted all this stuff that I later put together. He goes, yeah, man, I'm trying to have a place full of badass art. Everyone, because Jamaica doesn't have art. They don't have an art scene. So if you think about what art is a byproduct of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Prosperity, right? If you're hurting, you're not making artwork. You're looking for like food, and you're still got your basics to cover. So he's like, I'm trying to make a badass place full of good art and blah, 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 blah. So the Wednesday, fucking Richard comes up to Mauricio, and I could sense something's up, right? Basically, the conversation goes like this. These are his words. It's like, I don't know if there's some kind of undercurrent of you guys trying to leave out here early to go meet up with some friends or whatever. He's like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. He goes, I don't give a fuck about your friends. I don't give a fuck when your flight is. Okay? His words. I'm not kidnapping you guys, but you're not leaving until this is done. Right? Boom. Everything changed from that moment on.
Oh, fuck.
And what was crazy is that day, our SIM cards ran out. So we had a 3-day thing. That third day, it's done. Now it just shut off. Then he tells us this thing, right? Whoa. So Mauricio's like, and I couldn't hear all the words he's saying, but I could, like I said, I could sense it. I knew something wasn't right. I could feel it. And maybe rightfully so. I think he sensed that we're trying to give him some drive-by painting, that it wasn't that important. He goes, there's nothing more important than this right now. He goes, this is our God. And it was almost like disrespecting it by not putting all your best effort into it, right? So Mauricio's like, dude, he's not happy with the crowns. All these things I pointed out to him. I'm like, listen, I think at the very least, you have to outline everything in black just to crisp it up. Just to like, because spray paint doesn't give you sharp edges. It kind of has that airy look. So I was like, you're going to have to use the black and just try to sharpen. I kept using the word sharpen because it kind of had this hazy look to him. Like, he's not going to like that. It's not realistic at all. And that's where, like, then he's like, oh, I want it to look like this. I want the detail. He's like, I'm not. And Mauricio's like, well, he's like, well, with all the paint, he's like, with the kind of paint I have, he's like, he was trying to give him the runaround like he doesn't have enough material. The guy goes, I don't give a fuck what you got to do. This isn't done. So he basically passively aggressively put the fear in God in us, right? Because we're on this dude's compound. He's got 12 henchmen. There's nowhere we can go. There's one road in and out. If we try to, so there's tour buses that come, right? So when you're on a resort, you could pay for a Bob Marley experience. So you could, pay a couple whatever bucks, and they drive you to 2 hours, and you take this, because you'll see his mausoleum, you see where his parents, you'll see where he was born, where he was raised, like this whole little compound's like was his whole life. And he was like, so I was like, hey, man, can you fix this? Is what he want theoretically possible? And he goes, yeah. Mauricio worked for like 16 hours straight after that. Because now thank God he brought his brushes, because he wasn't supposed to bring his brushes. It's all supposed to be aerosol can. He had to go. He changed the crown 100%, made it way badass. Changed both the faces. They didn't like the bags under the woman's eyes. He had to take the bag out, make the guy look more fierce. His asshole puckered up, and we didn't get fed dinner that night. We didn't get fed the whole next day. We went a day and a half without eating.
Wow. And
we weren't even hungry. The realness. So we had this dude Rambo walking. He was one of our guides. I was like, hey, and thankfully the day before we had already prepped him. Like, hey man, we might need some SIM cards. if we would have downloaded the app, we could have redid it all right there, added a couple days, whatever. It could have been wham, bam, bam. But of course, we let our shit die. Then you can't even nothing works. So now I have to, we're forced to go buy another fucking SIM card or another number or another plan. So thankfully there was like a little mart that we, like 2 blocks away we walked, and that day after they have this conversation, we're scared in a sense. Now we're like, okay, he's like, yeah, let's go walk. So boom, we get our SIM cards. That was the first little sigh of like relief. Okay, now it's like, because there was several hours where I'm like, we don't have contact to anyone. We can't get a taxi. We can't escape on one of these tour buses because we can't get anywhere with our luggage. There's so many eyes and ears. There's so many people looking at us. So, and not only that, but there's cameras too, you know. I doubt they had anyone sitting there just checking cameras other than if something went missing, then they'll go back and check. But so we're like, oh fuck, like dude, this guy's really got us by the balls. Like we're in this dude's like fucking compound, and everyone in the neighborhood know this is the rich guy. This is the guy. It's like everyone like worked for this guy or would love to work for him, would capture us in a second. Like so I was like, listen, Maudie. So I'm like, I don't know if our life, like let's get real. Is our life actually in danger? Probably not. I'm thinking, don't you think worst is, first off, you're not going to get paid the $2,000 or whatever it was. You're not getting paid that. And then they're just going to they're going to disrespect your shit and just going to prime it out and let somebody else fix it. That's what I ultimately think is the worst case scenario. But those fucking words were said. I'm not kidnapping you guys, but you're not leaving until this is done. So you take that however you want to take it. When you're in the country of a poor, you're in a fucking country of a poor country. You got no internet. You got no nothing. You got nothing. But all we have is me and him. So boom, that's crazy. And then the last day we were supposed to get a ride back with this guy. We end up taking a taxi. Another $150.
Ooh, so you
all
didn't
my
get
money
a ride back.
Nope. All my money was spent on fucking cars. That was like the most money I spent was transportation. But
so would you?
So hold on. So then. So this leads us to like the one of the best parts of our vacation.
All right.
So we had a fly in from Montego to Fort Lauderdale at, I think noon was our flight. We landed at like 1:00. We have our flight's not until Saturday night. Okay. So we got there Friday afternoon. We have all day Friday and pretty much all day Saturday. Okay. So we went. Maudie says like we're going back to the Kimpton. The same place that we started everything at, because we fucking loved it. I will go back to that place for sure. I really enjoyed it. The food was good. Everyone we talked to was like, hey, we've been to all the buildings around here. This is the best one. So I'm like, oh great. I'm like, I will specifically have a vacation just around this place. You know, going back to Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale was a great little area. A little bit more on the retirement side. A little bit more 50s, 60s. Of course, there's people my age and our age and shit, but it did seem like a little bit of a older crowd.
Okay.
And so boom, as soon as we land, everything changed on us. Like we felt like we finally breathing real air, and we're like, that was crazy, right? Like the shit, like. I'm like Maudie said, I'm gonna refer this time. Like, remember when you had to paint for our life? Like, that's gonna be how I reference this. Like, because that's how we felt.
Yeah.
And so we fucking blew off so much steam that fucking Friday at the Kimpton. We drank at the hotel all day. Fucking got sushi at night. Fucking went to the strip club. Florida strip clubs. That's what they're known for, boy. They are fucking known for a strip club, and Mauricio fucking, I don't think this girl ever watches this, but he's like, hey, I'm gonna take care of you, cause dude, he was like, his girlfriend was so upset that she didn't get invited. Do you know how fucking lucky, not only she lucky, but he was lucky that I was there? Not only was I just a good moral dude, like legitimately hands-on, very intuitive what he needs. Thankfully they had a couple bakers. He had 2 bakers, they had different sizes. They had to help moving around. Hey, get me this, give me that. Paint while I'm doing. I saved him several hours, you know, and we would laugh about it. Like, can you imagine fucking Christine was here? And we're like, she would have been fucking pissed off that she came, you know? So, so he's like, I'm taking care of you. He gave me like $400. And I'm like, I would never take money like that from a friend. But first off, I know he's got money. So I was like, and the shit that I went through, I was like, I'm not fighting. I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, nah, man, I'm not fighting you. I said it just like that. I resisted it at first. I'm like, nah, bro, you don't. I'm like, stop. No, you fucking Bob. I'm like, I'm not fighting you. Boop. Put the fucking money right in my pocket. And dude, that was a great night. We fucking I forgot the place was called Vixens or something. Big shouts out to Vixens, bro. When we got there, like I forgot what time it was. There was way more strippers than there were patrons. There was like fucking 40 strippers in this place. All of them baddies. So many Latinas, man, with their broken English. I love a Latina accent. Now I'm starting to like it more when it's not a Mexican accent.
Why is that?
Well, 'cause I'm just so used to that.
Gotcha.
I'm super used to it that now when I hear the Colombian or the Cubano fucking version of it, it's a little more exotic, a little sexier.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to talk shit or anything like that, but I grew up around Mexicans and I love their accent, but there's a swag.
Yeah, exactly. There's a sexiness to the fucking
swag to these
Caribbean kind of
countries that come from the Caribbean.
Hell yeah.
There's a song when they walk. There's a song when they
talk. Mama. Hell yeah, fucking I loved it. But yeah, man, it was crazy. That was a crazy roller coaster of like such a good time, and then all work, and then the last 2 nights, like we were like, oh my god, it feels so good. Man, we're like, fuck Jamaica. Like, think about like, why would you want to go? And now I'm starting to think, okay, whatever, I go back to Jamaica, and like you have to ask yourself, what are you going for, right? Because 9.9 out of 10 people, they're just going to be on a resort, right? Just give me going to an all-access resort. Give me fucking coconut drinks, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that if that's what you're trying to do, you don't need to go to Jamaica for that.
You don't.
You can go to fucking... You can stay in Florida for that.
You could fucking stay at the Trump Tower.
There's badass places, resorts in Florida with white sand beaches and that kind of thing. So it's like... So that's what I started thinking. It's like... When I go back, I'm sure Montego Bay and the touristy spots are nice. I'm not doubting that. But the thing is like, well, what are you going for? Because it's like, if I'm just gonna stay in a resort, I don't have to go to Jamaica. So chances are I'll probably never go back to Jamaica. And but that Fort Lauderdale place, dude, the Kimpton place, I loved it. I got a that roof. Oh, dude, when the sun would set. It would oh my god, the pictures. Bonicio took great pictures of me. Like I started getting on my Instagram, started taking like those kind of really professional looking pictures, because he's got that fucking eye. Like he's got the artistic eye where he knows how to like line things up in the background and
yeah, for sure.
So when the sun was setting, man, we took all these good ass pictures. It was great. And we come home, right? We get home. Oh, to fucking add salt to injury a little bit. Our last flight delayed like an hour and a half. Fine, whatever. We land. All right, so we took I think it was like 9:30. It turned into about almost 11 o'clock flight. Got home at like 1 a.m. These motherfuckers, they didn't unload the fucking plane for an hour and a half for standing by baggage claim. We're standing there so long. Some fucking guy went all Karen. He went into like this, like it was Spirit. We walked into the Spirit thing, and he's like, "Baraki, you're a bitch, do your fucking job," going all fucking crazy. Sure enough, like 5 minutes later, shit worked. So I don't know if that bitching worked or not, but shit started popping off. And then of course that chick left her post and turned off all the lights. She's like, I ain't dealing with this shit. And 2 days later, Mauricio flies back. You know what's funny? Because I was texting, I was like, hey man, let's get some sushi. No response. Hey bro, we got to figure out how to buy a place in Fort Lauderdale. No response. I'm texting this motherfucker. He was already on the plane going back. I was like, dude, I've been depressed the last 4 days. He goes, me too, man. I'm already in Miami. I go, you're in Miami? He goes, yeah, Christine has off for a week. I'm like, you motherfucker, dude. I'm like, I'm jealous, but I'm not hating on you. I'm inspired, actually, you know. Because motherfucker, he could do what he wants, you know. That's a benefit. And, of course, I didn't work all week. Dude, too many gay guys were trying to hit on me. I'm a fucking gay dude magnet, bro. Fucking magnet. There was this fucking bear type gay dude.
Yo.
And he seen me. Everyone's. Dude, we made friends with every single person in the pool. Everyone who was in the pool, I talked to at some point.
Yeah.
And there was these two fucking gay real estate dudes, and they had this friend, and the friend was like, oh, when you leaving? I'm like, I'm leaving this day. He's like, is there any way I can convince you to stay a couple days? I was like, nah, I gotta get back to work. He pitched that at me like 4 times. There's nothing I can for you stay for an extra 3 days. I was like, no, dude. And I had the heart to tell him, like, I'm not gay, you know, but like, you know, but ironically, I did have the 3 days. I could have stayed. Oh, Mauricio took this picture of this because I saw an real old couple, and the dude was kind of dressed nice, like kind of snazzy, and of course I'm a little liquored up.
Big money out there, big money.
And it was the last 2 days, and I'm in a real good mood. I was like, hey guys, how you guys doing? They're like, I'm like, you guys are from around here? Like, oh, from England. I could hear that English. Like, oh, because there was like a residential building inside this thing that so many people rent out for 3-4 months. So many couples like, oh, we're here for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's the fucking move.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale, there's a lot of swingers out there.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Oh, I could see them. And I've seen so many women point to their dudes like, oh, this is the guy. Like, they thought they're going to get me to be the third. First off, the girl better be a fucking smoke show, and none of them were.
They're all adults.
Yeah. So. And he, Mauricio took this picture. Oh, where'd he send it to me at? Oh fuck, where'd he? It was a picture of me, the dude. It was like, oh yeah, when you're on vacation with your sugar daddy.
That's hilarious.
So I met this random dude. I don't know if you. And then Mauricio sent me a picture. It's like, oh, when you're out with your sugar daddy.
Send it to me and I'll put it up.
And I was thinking about putting that on my Instagram. Like, hey, man, I'm not gay, but I was going to pay something gay for hire. I was going to make some kind of joke out of it, but people probably think I'm being real.
Yeah.
But
everybody's got a price.
Listen, that's the joke I made. Because I was like, everyone has a price, dude. Listen, I don't care how anti-gay you are. They throw a couple M's or B's at your way, you're gonna take it. Everyone.
A B.
Exactly. Exactly, dude. There's a price, dude. There's a price for everything. But yeah, man, I can't believe how long I rambled. But
I can.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Oh, that's the other thing. So we met up with like these cougars that were there for a fucking whatever. We're talking. One chick works for a pharmaceutical company. I just unload. I go, fuck. Pharmaceuticals are fucking evil. And she's like, and I was like, oh my god. She's like, well, why do you think so? And I was like, well, I don't know, man. They got an infinite growth model. It's like, if there's not a problem, they'll make a problem, and they'll fucking blah, blah, blah. And she, like, had rose-colored glasses on her. And I kept saying, listen, I'm not saying all pharmaceuticals are evil. I mean, they make products that save people's lives. I'm not saying that they're not needed. But I was like, there's a shady business model they work on, you know? And I was explaining about the third part, how they do their testing. She goes, no, the testing. I go, yeah, they do all that testing, but they're showing the FDA the cherry-picked data. They're not giving them all the fucking negatives. Oh, yeah, they do, blah, blah. And she, like, had a whole different thing. I was like, okay, well, whatever. But what was interesting is they're like, she's like, you should be in sales. And, like, 3 couples said that to me, like, you should be in sales. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. I mean, okay, I know what that means, but, like, I don't know how to integrate that into my life. I don't know what that means exactly. But I'm starting to think that selling shit like that is just like, it's your people skills. Can you connect with people? Are you good at that? Well, I think I am. And that weekend I was like, that I kind of proved that. I was like, well, you know, everyone's there for the same reason, like to have a good time. So it's kind of easy to talk to people. There's this guy, Frank and Donna. This guy was like, we got really cool because we got into real estate, and his son's in real estate, and he started just talking about money. I was like, I want to be rich. He's like, well, what's your plan to be rich? And I was like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, there's this book by Robert Kiyosaki. I was like, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I was like, say less. And then we started connecting on like books and stuff. It was cool, man. It was like, this was a cool spot. It's not, now, like I said, there wasn't a ton of chicks to like, it's not that kind of spot. You could find it. Spot. You could find, of course, Mauricio was there, and he's sending me pictures of like all these young chicks that were there. He goes, you're missing out. And he took one video of some chicks saying, oh, Dino, you're missing out. Some smoke show. I'm like, of course, all this shit happens when we're not there, but whatever. He's living his life. Of course, I'm like, you motherfucker, dude. I'm so jealous, dude. I'm like, I gotta figure it out, like how to
sell this shit. You fuck.
Sell what?
Karen's kids.
Oh.
Get it out there.
Yeah, we gotta figure out how to vamp it, how to get our, because we're not getting any traffic. Not even like not one. Like we should get at least one.
Because we're not doing anything.
We're not doing it right. I'm telling you,
we're not doing anything. Well, I'll tell you this. I've already looked at like a bunch of other podcasts. Wait, do you want to finish this up though?
Sure.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fuck it. We'll put a little bow on this. If you've been listening to this whole thing, man, I appreciate it. Y'all been listening to me, my whole voice. It was a Dino episode for sure.
Wait, just this one?
Well, the other ones I'd let you talk for a couple minutes. This, I think you got about 4 recorded minutes. Anyways, like and subscribe, man. Share, help us out, get us out there. We love you. Love, peace, chicken grease.